Yeah, I'm back. Of course, they're gonna try to stop this. You know that. You can't stop it. This has to be done. All right, let's get into this. The reading of Corinthians by Lord Enki. All right, I'm gonna pick it up from the second part of it. I'm not gonna read that introduction. All right. Now I beseech ye, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no division among you. Now, when we talk about that in the beginning, I'm at chapter 1, verse 10. The thing to this is that for us to understand the oneness of the Christ consciousness, you cannot be in argumentiveness with nobody. You can't disagree with nobody. It's about synchronicity, and if you don't have synchronicity within you, it's not going to work, because it's when you have disagreement just is not you and the person. It's either your ego against the beast or whatever it may be. So it's important for you to understand in dealing with somebody, if contention coming, of course you know they're going to try to stop. You should have seen what went on my end. They kept probleming when I tried to try another live. It wouldn't let me do no more lives. So this is not just I don't know what happened. Maybe that was a trigger and try to stop this, but it was a little problem here, and it just kept flashing. I had to restart my phone like 2 times to get everything back working. I don't know. Maybe them key words that I said caused it. But we're gonna leave them out of it. We ain't gonna say certain trigger words, that's all. And we just here trying to, learn. We ain't here to cause no trouble or to get cut out. So anyways, let's get back to this. I was saying that I had started at chapter 1, verse 10, when it says, Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that you all speak the same thing, and that there be no division among you. And so that's where I was at when I said, like, if you and a person don't agree, then it don't make no sense to continue talking. Then, because y'all is in an egotistical conversation, or this conversation is going to lead to an unconscious act. So we don't deal in communication that is not of the same thing. If we're disagreeing, I walk away from it. I don't continue to try to prove my point. I don't use force. And so that's what he's interpreting here, is I'm giving you the commentary to what it's saying when he says that in division among you. But he goes on to say now, but that they be perfectly joined together in the same mind, in the same judgment. So you see, the important part is mind right there. When I tell you we're in a mind, it's demonstrated in their choice of words that they use. It says in the same mind. They don't say see it the same or understand the same truth. He makes sure that he used the word mind, because we're in our own mind. And then when we want to see things the same, you have to go into the God mind. And that's why you have the Jesus mind. That's the frequency you would say that it's attached to the body. If you're saying there is a body, then you're saying there's a Jesus. But we're not talking now Jesus as a physical person, because in here, this is about his story, the spirit. So you got to understand what the spirit is. And one spirit governs all the spirits. And we're in the big spirit, which is smaller spirits in the big spirit. But those big spirits is in the biggest spirits. So when you hear phrases like the Son and I'm in the Father, you understand that he's in that sphere. He's inside of it as a smaller sphere, and we're in him as a smaller sphere, and so forth, and keep like that. Those are solar logos, or the logos. All right, so I'll be explaining these things as I read on. So to make it consistent, I'll read from 10 beginning all the way through, so I don't have interruption. Now it says, Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no division among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. So there I go, what I explained to you. For it have been declared unto me at you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Cleo, and that there are contentions among you. Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am from Paul, and I am from Apollos, I am from Cephas, and I am from Christ. Is Christ divided by Paul? Um, was Paul crucified for you? Or were you baptized in the name of Paul? Well, all this now, they're trying to say, if we're going to go superficially off of, like, I believe in God, I believe in this, I believe in Buddha, I believe in all this, is none of those really you or who you are? We're following doctrine. So that's what he's trying to make a point. Then he says at 14, I thank God that I baptized none of you, but Cephas and Gaius. Let any should say that I baptize in my own name. And I baptize also the household of Stephanus. Besides, I know no other that which I baptize any other. For Christ sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel. And that's the first thing you got to understand. You're not here to like convert nobody or to change them. So that's what we're talking about with the baptism. And when we're talking about preach the gospel, it's telling the truth. The gospel is the truth. That's all it means. Now it says, now, for Christ sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with the wisdom of words. Test the cross of Christ should be made of none effect. So we talking about when he said not the wisdom of words. Why would you say that? So you got to understand this is psychic. Then I'm going to go back and you could pick yours up and read it yourself to understand. He says at 16, this is 1:16, and I baptize also in the household of Stephanus. Besides, I know no other which I baptize. And, no, not that 16, it's at 17 I meant to say. Um, he says, for Christ sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Christ should be made of no effect. So he's saying if you use words, it's not going to have no effect on the people. So what are you talking about if you don't use words? So you understand this is psychicness they're talking about. Their word for psychic is the word power. So when you see this word power of God, power, you got to understand what it means. These are the abilities of your inner soul things that you don't know you have, that they're trying to push to you, but it's in a parable that you have to understand. So now he goes, for the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved is the power of God. So there we go, the first example of the word power coming into existence in this talk. And he's saying the power of God. So now you're going to learn what the power is. And he goes on in 19 to say, for it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and I will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Now, at 20, he said, where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of the world? Hath not God made foolish of the wisdom of this world? And so you're going to learn now where something is going on here, where they're going to take the unconscious, the one who's the neophyte that is interested, to be smarter, to know more than the educated professor or professional that's already in this world, and to confound them with their knowledge by showing they have actual mystical powers and psychic abilities that they themselves can't explain. So he demonstrates it in this conversation he's having right here by showing them that. So he says, where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Have not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preachings to save them from that which they believe. So you will see now, we're at 20, he said, for the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. So if you're looking for something, you got to realize, like us, yo, show me, yo, I got to see it, I got to think. That's why people can't tap in. You're looking for it. You keep looking for it. If you're looking for a sign, you're looking for to see Thoth, you're looking to see Isis, you're looking to see the God, you're not going to be able to tap in. And so this is where they break that part down to you in the most profound way, because he goes to say that for the Jews require a sign. That means they need to see something. And the Greeks seek after wisdom. They want just knowledge. But we preach Christ crucified unto the Jews as a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness. But unto them which are called both Jews and Greeks, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God. So right there you get to see that what we think is actually trying to look outside of ourselves to find it is not really what we're supposed to seek. You're it already, and by you looking outside yourself, you ain't gonna be able to tap in. For you to tap in, you just gotta realize that all the stuff you're looking for is not actually what you need. What you need is already in you. Just forget about those things and tap in. So now at 25, he said, because the foolishness of God is wiser than man, and the weakness of God is stronger than man. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. And that's important for you to get. So listen to that as I read it. If you got yours, Corinthians 26, read that line. It says, for ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. So it's going to be you that's called. You understand? Not those type of people. And it says God has chosen the foolish. So you would look at it, what's the foolish? We don't understand what the foolish is. In tarot, when you're playing tarot cards, the fool is the highest card on the deck. He's God. God is the fool. And you got to realize why is that. When we go back to what we was talking about prior in the last video, when we was talking about the abyss, the darkness, what we call evil, or just subconscious spewing out ideas and probabilities, you see in that now, the one who comes out of that and say, I'm going to make this conscious, and what we talk about was the Enki or Jehovah, making the consciousness come into being, taking our crazy superstitions and putting them in its right perspective to create the spheres. You get to understand now, you had to be a fool to do that, to just, if I'm telling you, yo, don't go over there, the neighbor, he'll hurt you. He's been doing that to people for years. I'm the one who make you now think like, yo, I shouldn't go over there. Or maybe he is this. But prior to you not knowing, you was the fool, which would have made you go in there and probably do something nobody else had the heart to do, much less not have something in you to confound you, to be afraid of it, to approach the situation. By you not knowing something history, you ain't going to treat it no better than another experience. But you know the history, you're going to be reluctant, you're going to contemplate. So the fool is the creator of everything. That's why he's on the tarot deck, focused, concentrated, straight ahead. And you see animals biting on his legs, and he still don't care about none of that. He's just content with going ahead. That's the creative force, the will, the energy. So when you hear God has chosen the foolish or the fool to confound the wise, it's only the fool have the heart to speak the truth. Only the fool will go up there and don't care about his insecurities, his own thing, and go and do it. He'll choose him to do his will because he know he's not going to be afraid. The wise is going to think twice before he speak, before he do anything. The fool is going to act out God. So you got to understand what they say. He takes the fool, and why he used the fool. Don't look at it as a disrespectful thing, or no. You don't want to be the wise in this situation. You want to be the fool. The fool is the highest deck on the tarot, and he represents God, and he's the creative principle inside of us. That's the will. All right. So back to that last line at 27. But God has chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God has chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And the base things of the world and things which are despised has God chosen. Yeah, the things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. So you're going to see is the ones that is unconscious is the ones that's going to come up now and be the true believers, and the one with the powers and abilities, not the one that's in power now, because they're the ones who's going to really see what's going on. And so they, being that they didn't know all of this or never saw all of this, it's going to be more of a cling to it, and they're going to have a more loyal thing to it, just like it says, because of the fact they seen evil already, so they know what good is. So they already was non and needed a reason, so they're the ones who's going to make the transformation. All right. So at 29 now, it says 28, and the base things of the world and things that which are despised have God chosen, yeah, and things which are not, to bring to naught these things that are. that no flesh should glory in his presence. So this is important for you to understand. At 29 it says that no flesh should glory in his presence. So it's not about your ego, not about how you look. You don't worry about these things. To tap into your God powers, you got to look beyond these things. You understand what I'm saying? These things prevent you from tapping in. So understand the no flesh theory, because it's a very important blocker. It's a common blocker for people in energy blockage. All right. But at 30 he says, but of him are ye in Christ Jesus, who of God is made upon us wisdom and righteousness and sanctification and redemption. Basically, that's just saying, the sphere you're in is the sphere really of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And you will profit more and be able to benefit if you go with that frequency and that energy than to go against. You understand? That according as it is written, that he glorifieth, let him glory in the Lord. All right. Wisdom and God's gift. Now it's important. These parts is really why I wanted to get into this, like into the wisdom of God's gift, stuff with the God, you are God's temple. These part now play a role in your macabre and how to use how your abilities go, plus how you unite with your spiritual side. So he says, and I, brethren, when I come to you, came not with excellency or of speech or of wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of God. For I determined not to know anything among you, save Jesus Christ and his crucified. And I was with you in weakness and in fear and in as much trembling. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of the power. And so right there we're going to stop so you get a great understanding of what he just said, because it's a lot and I want you to comprehend it, not just listen to my words. You understand? At number 2 he said, for I determined not to know anything among you. And so he's not judging and at the same time exalted himself either. He's don't claim nothing save Jesus and him crucified. So he's putting the power in the powers that be. And so he's saying now at 3, and I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling. And that's when we always call up on the spirits. We always call up on our spirits in those time only. And a beautiful song. Let me tell you this beautiful song. It's a beautiful song by Phil Collins called In the Air Tonight. And he just demonstrated, I think he read this part and wrote a whole song off of it, where I could feel you coming in the air tonight. Because if you listen to the words of the song, he says, I remember your troubles, and I could feel your pain. And when you asked me for help, I started to grin, and all in a pack of lies. The whole thing is telling you how that's God watching you, and he's seeing your whole true side. And so you don't know. He's coming like in the darkness, like in the air tonight, but he's not helping you because he see your true self. So he left the person there to die. So that's what it's telling you when he's saying, I was there with you in weakness and in fear and in trembling. That's the only time we call upon these spirits in our God self to help. And then once we're good, we're like, all right, we're good. And we forget about those things that we did to call upon them. So it's demonstrated here. And then he says that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of man, but in the power of God. So there you go right there. You see, whatever you're looking for outside yourself externally is not it. It's inside the power of God, which is this power we've been talking about. What is this power? Let's continue listening, and we probably will learn what this power is. And so he says, howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes of this world that come to naught. So they're talking from a different world. He just told you that, not of this world. So you get to see they know about the parallel. He said, but we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which God ordained before the world unto our glory. So they're not telling you nothing. Even though you think you're getting something, you're getting nothing. It's in the mystery, and it's only your subconscious could unravel this mystery. That's what they're telling you. If you have the attention on what you're doing, you're concentrating and reading it. So far it's telling you it's another world. They know about the other world, and something is hidden and we don't know about it. All right. He says, which none of the princes of this world knew, for had they knew it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. So now, But as it is written, I have not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of men the things which God have prepared for them that love him. Well, now when he put it in that type of context, you take in the astral world, those other world, the ethereal world, and he's trying to say it's being taken out of society, it's being taken away from us, and we're not being able to see these things, these world that was offered to us, that is these God worlds. So we don't see these things no more. So you have eyes, but you can't see. You have ears, but you can't hear. But these things is right here. And it was there at first. You was one with it. So now he goes on, but God had revealed them unto us by his spirit. So this is important. Right there is everything in the world. Because you're going to learn now that when he says at 10, but God had revealed them unto us by the Spirit, by his Spirit. You see, you're going to learn when they say, I'm in the Spirit. They got this term, they say, I'm in the Spirit. I'm in the Spirit. They're in meditation. They're in their astral body. So when he says, but God had revealed them to the spirit. So you have to go in your spirit body to see spiritual things. So you could still see these worlds that just came up a second ago that we just talked about if you in your spirit body. But it's not for your physical body. You only could see physical things. So if you need me to back up because I just read that, I could so you understand it. But basically he says, the thing I go back to 9, but it is written, I have not seen nor ear heard, neither have I entered in the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. So I'm telling you what's prepared for you is those other worlds. But now at 10, he says, but God had revealed them unto us by his spirit. So I'm telling you now, you're going to get a lot of stuff where he says he's in the spirit, he's in the spirit, he's in meditation, and he gets to see those worlds. So it continues to say, for the spirit searcheth all things, yeah, the deep things of God. So you're of God, but you're not going to search the deep things of yourself. You're only on the shallow shell, the hell. And so for you to go into the deep thing, that's your spiritual side. It's the empath, that sensitive thing. It's the psychic side that know things. You're tapping in. You're in it, but you have too many things on you. You can't feel it. You have to be able to feel it by taking off other impurities, and you slowly add things on one at a time, and you'll be able to feel everything you're putting on. But if I give you an admixture of everything, you're going to be immune to everything you're feeling, or you don't know which one is which. So you have to take them off to feel each one again. So that's how that principle is going to work. Now, he said, for what man knoweth the things of man, save. So you got to understand that. At 11, he said, for what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of man which is of in him. Even so the things of God knoweth no man. And it's very important for you to understand that. 11 again, that's my number. I've been thinking about all my bodies, physical, etheric, and shadow. That's why, Bill, it's very important for us to be attuned to them, because that's how we psychological attacks, mental illnesses, and diseases for neglecting those bodies. Those is the key to your healthy body. You could just sit and meditate and be healthy, rejuvenate, get young again. That's Jesus science. Let me tell you Jesus science. Y'all don't understand what's going on here. Let me go in for a quick minute, because we call it Templar science. I don't know if y'all know what Templar science is, but it's very complicated. It's about the indigo child, and it's about, DNA strands. And I'm a flash Templar science. This is what Jesus teaches. The real teachings of him, if you were to get into it, will be about strands in your DNA, different parts of the body. It's very complicated. This is his teaching broken down into what's called metaphysics right here. It teaches you about part of K, part of Chi elements. And this is all Templar science right here. This is what this is called. The Knight Templars keep these a secret, but this is what this is about. If you could understand what I'm teaching you, the basics, you could go on into these more complicated things and understand from the indigo to the different DNA strands to your astral body, your ethereal body, your buddhic body, your seraphim body. All of this stuff is available to you, And as I teach you and leave this religious part of it, I'm going to be more like a Bobby Hemmett type person. But you understand this part. You could go back to my videos. You can't say I'm satanic or this and this because this gets very deep. You remember, he's giving you the milk. I'm going to give you the meat. Bobby Hemmett give you the meat. You understand? But this y'all ain't getting it because he's the one who brought me to this unification of my feminine and masculine energies, which is the beast and God coming together as one to give me my full yin and yang that made my logo and send me back home. But we are afraid of our other side. We deny it or don't believe in it or all this crazy stuff that eventually I'm going to slowly prove everything right here for you so you understand what's going on. Because this is Egyptian. This is not actually European. They just took it out of the pyramid text, you understand, and retranslated it. Same Horus as Jesus. It's the same thing. We could take it any language you want. It's the same as Serapis. It's all the same. They all got the same story. Bacchus got the same story. Krishna got the same story. Diogenes got the same stories. Mithra got the same story. So it's not like it's singled out. Any culture have the same book, same story, but just twisted around a little different. But the characters is all just a different name. Okay, let's get back to this now. Where we're at. Okay. Now this is where we was talking about what number was we at? I want to make sure. All right, that your faith, who is at 5, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of man, but in the power of God. We were speaking on that to say what it is. And I want you to realize that you got to believe in yourself. Now he says, howbeit we speak in wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the prince. Oh no, we went to the wrong sides. 1 and 2 within our electromagnetic. Yeah, 1 and 2 within. You're right. That is true. Hold on, I went to the wrong part. I forgot where we was at. We was up here at 12. Okay, so at 11, this is where we were studying. Back again, I'm back. 11. It says, for man knoweth the things of a man. Serve the spirit of man which is in him. So your spirit of man, you have a spirit of man. But then in you also, even so, the things of God knoweth no man. So you got to realize at 11, he's telling you, even so, the things of God knoweth no man. So if you want to get in the spirit world to be seen, you have to body double into your astral body. Because it just tell you the spirit of God knoweth no man. You in your carnal body, your flesh. You can't talk to God in your flesh. He knows that's not really you. You need food. You need shelter. You need love and attention. That's not his child. You belong to something else that's right in here too. That is not you. You're the soul in it. So when he come and he do this extraction and this go this way and this go that way, don't flip out. You will understand what's going on as you understand what is really being taught here. You understand, and broken down. All right? So you get to see, he says, even so the things of God knoweth no man, but the Spirit of God. You understand? So if you're not in your spirit, you cannot talk to God or he can't hear you. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of God. So he's giving you a differentiation to let you know you have two in you. The pre-program is the spirit of the world, but you didn't receive that. You received only the spirit of God. It was you that corrupted yourself with the spirit of the world. So you will have to clarify that within yourself or differentiate between the two. So he says, now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of God, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of God. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. So right there, you get to see you got two worlds. The one world don't have nothing to do with the other world. It can't hear. Spiritual things can't hear physical things. They don't care about these things. And these things over here don't care about spiritual things. It's the consciousness that you have to shift to make the difference. So I give it to you again so you understand, because that's at 12 we're at. He says, now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of God, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of God. So it's freely, that's important, which is those words. And he said, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth. Words, very important to understand. That's why we cannot get the knowledge in words. Don't listen to no preacher. It tells you this in this book. This is the basics instructions for the sun. You know, Helios Biblios. Helios means sun. We translate holy and think holy is I don't know what. There's no such thing as holy in English. Holy is just a translation of Helios. Both of them mean sun. If you ever knew what holy means, it means sun. And the Biblios mean book. So it's holy book. And when we say in sun book, we're talking about the inner sun, you. You're the sun. And you will see it. That's why Jesus is called the Son. S-U-N, S-O-N. However you want to put it, it's still the Son. And you're the Son too. All right? So now let's get on. It said, which things also we speak is not in words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Ghost teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. So you see, the spiritual only could read the spiritual. That's it. But the natural man receiveth not things of the Spirit of God. I read it again at 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. So when you're in your carnal body, you're spiritually discerned. And you're not going to be able to tap in. This is all energy blockage. No matter how you look at it, it's about detachment from the material world. Simply put, you understand what I'm saying? But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of by no man. How is that? You see, now you get something that's superior to one that is inferior. A spiritual man could judge a material man, but a material man can't judge a spiritual man. That's what it says at 15. Read 15. It says, but he that is spiritual judgeth all things. What is knows? Chronos. What is Chronos? Chronos is time. Chronos is actually, you talking Jupiter. Jupiter is actually the whole frequency we in that we start to be conscious of our reality. Jupiter is Jesus. Cronus is Jesus. That's the same thing. Cronus, you know him as was the one that ate his children. Remember, Cronus is also Greek for time, which is also mind. That's really mean mind. You know what I'm saying? Kos, K-O-S is mind in Greek. And so you talking the mind. Once the mind starts, or you're conscious, you start the vibratory frequency of atoms. Atoms now is time. Time is being tracked. So Cronus is Jupiter. How Jupiter came into existence is the Greeks took the word Pitta. Pitta means father, and put Jew. Jew was original I-U. I-U is Jehovah. So they took Jehovah Father. The word Jehovah Father became Jupiter. J-U was first. It was J-B, J-Y, J with a upside down. It was many ways that it's on coins for Jehovah. You got to look at ancient coins up and you see 2 letters. He's I-O-A too. I-O-A is the same Jehovah, which then became J-V and then J-U. And then they took Pitta, the Greek word for father. So he was Jehovah Father. And then out of it you get the word Jupiter. Do God ever go into bodies to meet you in person? Vibe rational. You talking to God right now, and he did it with me, and he do it to everybody. You have to do it. You have no other way. That's the initiation of the pyramid. That's what happens when you do the initiation, the final initiation. He comes walking into you straight like that, and you just walk into him, and you now give him the power to come to here. Remember, I just gave you the whole doctrine, how the spirit and the flesh, they don't have nothing until you go in the in-between and connect the two and bring them over here. They can't come over here until you bring them over here consciously. And it's a long process called the magician initiation. You know, you got the order of the magicians, and that's what they do. That's what Moses did that caused a whole bunch of catastrophe. That's why you don't hear the story of Jesus, what he did. You don't hear what God did. All of this is the parts of the spheres that you can learn through Gnostic teachings when you hear the different angels and everything. But yes, he comes down here through you. That's why he says, I'm in the Father. No, I'm in the Father, and the Father is in you. And you just have to activate them. Once you activate them, then they come alive. Yes, walk into me now and believe. Well, do gods ever go into body? And when you're going through sleep paralysis too, vibes rational, that's what they're doing. You accidentally woke up while they're coming into your magnetic field. Remember, you have an aura this high. So it's that you never look in sleep paralysis, you catch them sometime in action right around here trying to violate you. And so they either entering your macabre or they're already entered and you just awake. So your body's still in the state that make you can't roll over in your dreams. And so, but your mind and consciousness is awoken, so you get to see, but you can't control the body yet because it's still in kinesthesia. And so you get to see these things. Now you're looking through your subconscious or your third eye. That's why you see them. But they're there all the time. Like I said, I see them now. I could pull them up. I can make them do anything. They protect me. I have eyes all over. If I look in the clouds, I could put my face in the cloud. I could do it for you. I could go one-on-one with you and send energy to you. You feel it anywhere from anywhere I push it. I could just do a test on you and push anywhere on your body and you'll feel it over video. You could test me if you want. But that's pretty much these abilities that you're going to be learning as gifts and we could do. I guess that would explain if God's come down on you. It also causes the aura color. You see, purple is the crown chakra, and the gods come through the crown. You know, when you start off, they start coming in the beginning. I'll test you, Enki. Do your thing. Okay, no problem. Um, what you do when you open your first chakra, your Mudalara chakra, which is Leviathan, you're going to get a sense of your consciousness going down there. Some people go through emotions and then awaken, but they start first coming in there. What you call energy is not energy, it's these gods coming on you. Remember this. There's no such thing as energy. There's only gods here, spheres. If you look up forces, is what you're going to call energy. Forces is the gods. Google forces and the gods. Forces, sympathetic energies. These is what they are. And so a bunch of them together causes electricity. And so if you read up on it, there's books by Descartes that explain all this stuff, what it is. You understand? There's Plato. All these people explain all this stuff. But we take it superficially because we don't take things too detailed, you know, like the Egyptians did. Everything is detailed out before there was microscope to do microscopic detail. But we took life that serious. We didn't take it as a joke like we do today because everything is prefabricated and made for us easy. Our senses is detuned now. We just got to look at our phone. But you got to, I mean, it doesn't fail now, but you got to be having a strong urge to want to know. You must want to know. You must have that hunger in you to want to know for it to come on to you. And the first stage for it to get your powers and your abilities is following your intuition. It's being your true self. Your intuition is the one that would say, move to the right, move to the left. Do everything your intuition says. It's not you. It's the real you from a distance, and slowly he's going to come. And eventually, from you doing everything you say intuitionally, it unites with you, boom, and jump in your body. And that's it. From then on, they keep coming. They keep coming. Soon you have enough powers to wave your hand and push a magnetic field because they teach you all this thing. I'm not telling you nothing I didn't experience. I only speak from I experience. That's why I'm not out here talking about Kobe Bryant. I'm not talking about this. I'm teaching you what I know, what I can answer. Ask me anything in reference to this, you good. Ask me things that's beyond my profession of what I do. I'm not going to talk to you about it because I'll be speculating, and I'm not here to flatter nobody or favor anybody. I'm here to tell you what I know. How much are you in between worlds? Do you see interdimensional all day, or does it happen sometime? All day. I am the interdimensional now. I could listen. People call me and just I could send you text messages of people like, "Oh my God, the energy is coming from your house." When I talk, it does crazy things to people, man. I isolate myself to stay out of trouble. I swear to God. You can ask my uncle, and so it's with me all the time. As soon as I put this call down, it jumps right back up. It opens up windows. They're right there all around here. It's constant work to do. And these is not things that I'm sitting like this. No, it don't work like nothing like that for me. There's portals to open. There's hand signals to do. It's a whole bunch of mess that I be tired of. My chain is involved. You have to do a lot. My rings is involved. Every level is different things to it, and you have to do it. They appear in front of you and show you what to do. I could show you how to do it. I can make you do it. I can activate it in you because it's like the key to my success is that it's right in your face, but I'm not going to tell you. You can even give me $100,000 and I'll tell you. You really had to be through the whole journey, and then you come to me and say, "Yo, what is this?" And I'll tell you. That's how it works. It's that simple, but for me giving you the clue that is right in your fucking face. Oh my God. Trust me when I tell you this. I've done said this is crazy. Nobody knows this, but it's right in your face. And it's just a simple tweak, a simple thing to do, and your whole life change. And I think it's trying to get everybody's attention, but nobody's getting it because we're misinformed about it. But Enki got you. But I just gave you a clue to this. That's the biggest clue. But once activated, this is your life. You got a double life. You got an extra overview. You know, you see everything. It's like, you know, you go, you know, it's not like you nosy, but if you have a nosy inner you that is actually like, what is this person doing? What? Yo, you'll be bombarded by that all day. You'll just see it right in front of you. You'll see it if you just chill. Or like with me, it's like I'm going to see it. So that means it's like a spiraling first. It always starts off swirling. As soon as I stay still, I got to keep moving. As soon as I stay still, a spiraling start occurring and the energy starts twirling. And as soon as it twirls enough, it actually start going around. The best example would be to show you whatever is in my house of any of these colors, it keeps swirling on the colors to form what it want to make. And it'll go off around 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and swirl on the colors. And when it finished, it pulls up my whole iPhone, like this tablet, like a ghost hologram image now. And then the colors, it start making it. And all of a sudden, it'll keep getting big enough that it's right here in my face. And in it now, I will have to do, like I said, a wormhole. It's the same as the Egyptian staff stabbing the snake. I understand all those things. And we open up these wormholes and go to the parallel. There's another world that it looked like you was going through a vagina breaking through as you open it up, but you using your third eye to make this light that goes straight through. You follow the light. I had to learn it at first from healing my body. I couldn't do it automatically. Don't think this is something you just do. The first thing was fear. I thought I was this handsome guy, muscles, using women and doing all types of shit. That I had to face first. So the first place I was in was a dark place with a bunch of reptilians. And these reptilians was my reptilian lower self and my Draco back in the days past me. And so I had to face those first. And it was the scariest fuckest thing in the world for about the next 3 months. Had me so skinny, so scared to sleep, everything praying to God. I slept with my headphones on, listening to the Psalms. I could not believe that this is happening to me. I said, what did I do to deserve this? But over a period of time of being like in a dark cave with just these things, because I'm seeing my eyes now already is in a fourth dimensional view. So when I look around my room and I'm not like how I am talking to you and just relaxing, I could see people walking around and things walking around. So I'm saying, fuck, my meditations is in my room with my eyes open. How is that possible? And I always just seeing it, so I'm in the corner scared. I'm going through so much because I see all this, and I couldn't understand, and nobody couldn't help me. And it was me researching, reading, studying until I found Paracelsus. Paracelsus was the first one that could relate to what I was going through and started introducing me to the different dimensions and different bodies. And then Nathaniel Ketcher, who found in Egypt that they was talking about portals and other worlds and gods and these beings. I was like, this is what I'm experiencing, not religious stuff of demonicness. This, even though it had an overtone that made me feel like I was cursed, it was something else. And so when I was in the reptilian part of it, where it was just a bunch of reptilian, there's this little orb light that I'm chasing down in this darkness, going at like real fast speed, but I could see other eyes and reptilians in the corners and in the slit. And I used to be so scared. I used to have my mattress on the floor low. I didn't want to be on my bed covered up with, like I said, the headphone. And when I go to sleep, as soon as I hit REM sleep, about to sleep, someone will snatch me off my pillow, and I'm fighting to get out my own body. Like I'm sleeping this way, laying down, and something come and hold me down by the neck and it's trying to pull me out. But I'm up now, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? But I can't get up. I'm being pushed. When I force myself and push, that's when I started having the eyes to see without meditation. Because my eyeballs used to pop out my head trying to find what is this in the room that is doing that. And I was able to see like a predator-shaped thing. A bunch of them is there, and they was in the air. And I started learning them. And so I couldn't even sleep. I wasn't sleeping for days. I was just staying up because every time I tried to sleep, they tried to pull me through to that parallel world. And I did not want to go. It was because I couldn't sleep after 3 days, and I fell asleep. I couldn't fight it. You know, it took me still. It faked me out with a dream like I was about to dream. All I hear is I just doze off for a second trying to fight it. I went like that and I doze off. That couple seconds, when you go like that, you're in their world. When you go into deep, you pass it. But you, for a few seconds, when your eyeballs is flickering and all that, you're with them. And so now, all of a sudden, I wind up in a meadow, and I'm hearing people far behind me, get him, get him. And I'm starting to get scared, and I'm jogging ahead, like, why am I doing this? What happened? And then something grabbed me by the waist and start floating me and lift me up and fly me across a river and put me down. But in it, I'm like, when he put me down, I'm a buck. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going ham. So as soon as he did, I'm trying to wake up now and get up. And yo, this thing is holding me down again, holding me down. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? And this occurred plenty of time where sometime I'm by my wall and I'm sleeping and a hand will grab me and try to yank me. And I'm like fighting for, what the hell is this? My bed will start shaking and rattling, and I'm holding on to the bed. These things was going on first before all this happened. I could feel my ribs start wrapping around me, going around me, going around me, wrapping around me, wrapping around my whole head till something is by my ear and going, yes. And I'm just observing all of this like, this is not real. I seen in pictures, I used to do video chats, and you know, I'm here in another foreign place, and you know, you do intimate stuff over video, and I take pictures, and in the pictures, I'm in the picture on the other side. I'm in the picture in that person's house. In the pictures that I look back on, I'm like, nah, this cannot be real. This cannot be real. That made me started doing other things and researching it. And I could say I got over 3 terabytes of video data of the most paranormalist things in the world happening. And like I said, 3 terabytes of recorded data of just weird things. And so from that, I earned my way. Let me explain when I left the reptilian, how I left there. It was angels. 2 angels came. I know them. Black face. You couldn't see black face, black wrist, but everything else is white. came in my Merkaba and was swinging at these reptilians, knocking them out. Two angels must against 500 reptilians, because I've been in there. I was in there like a baby that was being penetrated with a hot iron. I was there crying, screaming, begging for help as all these things was just there. I'm like, what the hell? And then all of a sudden the angels came with two swords, and it was just a fight, and I was so happy. But after a while, the angels got killed. They got overwhelmed by them. And I was sad again. I was fucked up. And then the next night they came back again and did it again and fought a marvelous fight. Two black angel with white body. And eventually I ascended out of there. I just left there. And I was in like a heaven place. It looked like I was in Assyria, an ancient Assyria. An ancient Assyria that I only could fly over the city, but I looked down and I knew I was in heaven. It was only people in all white there working carpentry. I could see it was like an Israel type thing, but in a different world. Mountains, people on the mountains, just like if it was Israel. And it was when it was time to go over it, I'm following the orb and I'm coming over the city. It's gates that was huge, huge gates, all white, everything, like a Gothic look. But once I got to the gate, the orb disappeared, and it was that white angel came back, and I remembered him. It sent chills up my body because I still didn't believe in God or nothing yet. And it sent chills up my body. I'm like, what the fuck? Wait a minute. Is this what I think? And the angel flew me over, and I can only get a glimpse of it by looking down through my peripheral. And I'm like, oh my God, this is real? This can't be real. So after this short journey, and I've been meditating a long time to the moon, through Mars, through you name it, I've been there. Cyrus, this one was a short journey compared to there. It was like this big. I said, wait a minute. And when I got to the end, the angel went away and the orb came back and was taking me on the journey that it was doing. And so I was for a minute seeing a place that I knew something was strange, but that was it. So now from there, I wasn't back where the reptilian was. I was free. I was in like an abyss. And I was just flying through, seeing things once in a while, not on an island going through or a planet going through. Now I'm in just abyss, space. And all of a sudden, this big face just come, a giant face. And it's the face of a dragon. And ever since then, it's like I went through the dragon and the dragon came into me. And ever since then, forget it. It's like I feel like I'm floating in my body. It just made me feel like I'm floating in a magnetic pull on everything. And ever since then, it started a whole different experience in my life. I started being able to leave my body and go into other people and see them. Mad people seeing me pop up over here, pop up over there, seeing me over here. And I'm like, how is that? And after a while, I realized this is the God world. This is what they're trying to show me. The shit that I was scared of wasn't something to be afraid of. Only thing that made me scared was because of religious text. You know, it was equivalent to God throwing Adam and Eve out the Garden of Eden and then putting two seraphims, two winged snake there. Now you come in 2020 and you walk in this garden and you see two giant winged seraphims, you scared as fuck. You turn around running. That's how we're taught. So I didn't know it was something divine. If you would have went through the seraphim, you would have been in the garden. That was my story. I was in the entrance of the garden and didn't know and was scared to death, thinking from religious programming that I'm being attacked, all this negative stuff. Then I realized that the story, not everybody looked like human beings as beautiful as we are, handsome as we are. And so when we see seraphims and other beings, we repulse it, we scared, we run away from them, we attack, like in dreams, that's them in your dreams that you're always running from. You're not running from something that's attacking you. You're running and they're just running too because they're part of you. If you stop running, they stop running. They're going to ask you, why you running? And or you ask them, what do they want? They're going to say nothing because you're running. We're running too. So these people is not after you or trying to do anything to you. They're trying to connect to you to give you your psychic abilities back to see if you're ready to go into higher learning of yourself, higher consciousness, you evolve. So that's why you get these things come on. You know, if you want more understand how God worked, he said, I work like a thief in the night. And everything in the Bible with Jesus happened at night. Jesus never came outside in the daytime. Not one incident. If you look it up in the real Bible, he tells you everything comes out in the evening. From him walking on water to whatever he did, he only came out in the evening time. That's telling you something. And so all this I'm going to bring to your attention so that you can see. So after I went through the heaven world, I was going through like the Anunnakis. I met the Anunnakis. I spent time with in Egypt and became a king and a queen. It's like when I went to Egypt, all of a sudden I had 100 twin flames. When I'm telling you in this way, 100 people just come and say, I'm your twin flame. 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 So this is how it activates. You understand what I'm saying? But it's not for you to take them and say, you're in a relationship. This is your spiritual family, your soul family or whatever. So they now activate. You just activated a whole family. That's how it works. Because you're not by yourself. Everybody's part of the same spirit, but we all share spirit family, soul family. You understand? So understanding this will help you now make more sense of how everything works. Now, um, in Egypt, when you're in Egypt, for you to understand everything, in this world, you get a queen. You have to conquer your desires, and you become a king and queen on a throne in the astral world, in the spirit world. There's a king and a queen. Here goes the funny thing. In Egypt, the king and queen is not the king and queen like how we see it. It's sexual, meaning anybody could sleep with the queen. The king could sleep with anybody. I didn't know that rule. So I opt out of being in the king and queen basis just because of that. And in the astral, it's like you watch. You love your queen or you with your queen, but somebody could come and touch her and her nature, because it's the truth, her nature is sexual towards him. He'll be pleasing her while you're at dinner. They'll be having sex and she'll just be like, I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself, and that's it. You have to make a choice of that you want, is the Osiris and Isis, the penis and the yoni. You become God of that. This is one of the features you get to be offered. And so if you very sexually active, that's where you become active as a god of, and that's it. But the person don't have no control, or you have self-control over it. It's just you're the god of sex, you're the god of fertility, you god of that. So I had to make a choice. Is that what I wanted? And that wasn't what I wanted. So I left the underworld, the Egyptian style of doing things, because that was the law that governed there. And a lot of people is that. That's the moon. That's the where everybody's at in the moon. And if you want to be a desired person, that's where you're going to be in the underworld, the king and queen, looking into Egypt and that Egypt life. But since then, that was like the first couple levels. I done passed so many levels. I just wanted to put that in your psyche, that following that doctrine, you're going to be in a world where your wife is subject to fuck any and everybody, and the husband or you is subject to fuck any and everybody, which is just going to destroy your consciousness inside, because you're still going to have a desire for one person and to be intimate with that one person, unless that's just you. I don't know. That's just me. That wasn't for me. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to leave that frequency. And from there, you move on up now to your final test. If you could pass those, then you go through the initiation process, the Egyptian initiation process, where you go for the test to go meet Set and to go get Serapis, which is Jesus, and then unite Horus. This is where you now take the secret initiation and God and Jesus come down on you. You have to pass those parts to enter the heaven world, which you take an oath with Sakmet or the Sakti energy. This is now where you're always going to see on your side a lion over here and just the dark or the beast. The lion is the light and you have the beast over here. So these two worlds is going to be the two worlds that's available to you, just like you see the light here and dark here, but flip them around for me, it's the opposite. And it's always like that. So once you know that, then you understand your polarity of, wow, you have a feminine side, a masculine side. One side of your brain make this side work, this make the other side work. So once you see that, you automatically know then that you're in a system, and this system is designed with the yin and yang symbol. The polarity of a battery is the same way. It's a simple system that replicates itself over and over and over and over again if you could catch the system. You understand what I'm saying? With the yoni and the phallus being the most important symbol in your psychology and in your head. That's why you see symbols of the phallus from skyscrapers to all type of symbols of the yoni, which is the Vesica Pisces, popping up. That's your reality. Um, Enki, how much are you in between us? Okay. I will activate myself and have a Skype call with you to test your power one day. All right, Vibes Rational, be careful. I've done it. You need to ask questions. Ask who in here has felt it already and is it real. You need to go test it. But bring it on. That's what I do. Are you more familiar with serpent power or angel? Both of them is the same, but different. Only different is where you at in your chakras. Serpent power remains, like I said, Leviathan is in your Muladhara chakra. So you tap into Kundalini, your serpent power at your root. It is the whole foundation of it. Your angel power starts at your heart chakra, which is just the beginning of it, but your real angelic power comes from your crown. So it depends where you want to use which part of it, and there's different parts. Serpent power is the root one that starts it. You have to have Shakti activated first, which is Tantra, basic Kundalini yoga, Kiri yoga, Hatha yoga. You have Karma yoga. It's many forms of it that is first the precursor to these other chakras opening, and you're gonna have in each chakra a lily flower to unlock. Meaning, as you open one chakra, it's a hole that when you push through it, as you push right here, a bubble come out, bloop, and as you push further, another bubble come out, bloop, and as you push further, it's opening like a vagina, but bubble is coming out. So now imagine you facing front view of the bubble. It's going to be bubbles, bubbles, bubbles to form a giant flower or lotus flower that we call, the circle of life. But if you're looking from it sideways, it would be like a bell that eventually just drop down when it's done, like it's a dead flower now. And so that's what you want to do when you open up the whole one. If now you do one chakra, but then it has many wheels, so then you travel through and it'll take you up to the next chakra and you will repeat the same process all the way till you get up to the crown. So that's how that works. Some intense things, and I know what you are talking about. Thank you, Sonia. According to the religious text of Islam, male matriarchs will receive 72 virgin maidens in paradise as a reward for sacrificing themselves. Is that true? Yeah, Vibes Rational, I told you. All right, some of us is actually water spirits. Some of us is forest spirits. Some of us are muses, entertainment spirits. Some of us are demians. Some of us are Devi. Some of us are seraphim. There's many ones of us. Some of us are kings and queens in the underworld. The underworld is the controlling sphere. The underworld is the moon sphere. And there is a king and queen that runs and control that. And so those people that you're talking about, that according to the religious text of Islam, male matriarchs will receive 72 virgin maidens, that means they're going to the moon. Of course they're going to get that there at the moon because it's what you think. And I told you I had to leave that sphere because that's what occurs on the moon, those type of things. So yeah, that's true. It does happen. You understand? But That's a person who just wants 72 women and freak off. That's it. They don't have no life in the end. That's not the real one. You don't. That don't even exist to nothing or make any type of sense. You got to realize the true power is actually in us going above the sphere. Every sphere that you get on, you're trying to go above it. Once you enter it, is to overstand it and keep moving up until you make your own sphere. So it's not to settle for you being in this world or that world. You understand what I'm saying? Or to set for a certain desire, such as what you're saying with them having a certain amount of women. Once you get there, you want to keep ascending. All right? It's getting dark, you know. I know it's looking kind of trippy, so I really appreciate y'all checking me out again. And we never got to finish the Corinthians. It's kind of dark, so I'm gonna pick this up in the tomorrow's video, and we do it earlier, so I'll get an early start. All right, so I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I appreciate y'all taking the time out to check me out. University of Conscious Science, one love.